your mom and dad around?
Yeah, so I always tell people I feel like I had a decent life. My dad was a firefighter and a barber, and my mom didn't work. She took care of my grandmother. My grandmother lived with us, and my grandmother was really sick. She had Alzheimer's, and so that's just a disease that get worse over time. So my mom stayed home, took care of my grandma, and then my dad was a firefighter and a barber.
That's awesome. Did you play sports early on, or did you get into sports a little later?
Yeah, so my dad played basketball like growing up, so he put me in a basketball, and I used to really like basketball, but it just didn't really work out for me. So then my older brother, that's how I got into boxing. My older brother boxed, and he introduced me to boxing.
So you're old. You have one brother?
Yeah, I have one older brother and two older sisters.
Okay, so your brother got into boxing.
Yeah, my oldest brother and older sister, they have a different mother. So they grew up with their mom, and then my older sister, she had the same mom and dad as me.
At what age did you start to box with your brother?
My brother is like mad older than me, so I was like 7, 8 when he was already in his late teens boxing and introduced it to me, and they opened a gym by my house. But my dad, he just really wasn't like for it. Like he didn't really like, so I never really like took it real serious or anything. And he just got me like a bag and like put it in my basement, and I would train on that, and I knew about it. But then it wasn't until I got older, around 17, 18, that's when I was competing and training every day around, I say 18 for sure. By the time I hit 18, I was at the gym every day, trained, and I was fighting about 2 times a month.
This show is sponsored by Open Recovery Addiction Help. Whether you're newly sober, in long-term sobriety, or even maybe looking to make a change in your life, Open Recovery offers 24/7 support right from your phone. It's anonymous and packed with tools to help you stay connected, stay accountable, and build the life you deserve. Download the Open Recovery Addiction Help app today and take the next step in your recovery journey. What does it look like from a training perspective for a boxer, someone who's making boxing their full-time career?
It's hard. I would say it's a lot of running. I say running is like the number one thing. Run. And then it come down to like, after you learn the box, like you know what you're doing, it come down to your opponent, your skill set, game planning. So you want to focus on your jab this day, focus on your defense. So it come down to you and your coach. But the main thing is running. You always running. Like, you know you're not a track star. Like, that's not your profession, but you training like a triathlon, running. And a lot of like endurance weights, like not heavy weights, but like doing weights for endurance, like a bunch of different crazy exercises. Like it's really everything, even the swimming. Like it's everything. It's not like just one thing. Like you don't know what it is. It's so unpredictable. So it's everything.
Yeah, I did a boxing training probably like a month ago. You know Ian Bick? Ian's got a show Locked In with Ian Bick. He's got his own podcast. Him and I went to this boxing gym. And dude, I've been an athlete my whole life. I thought I was going to die after this workout. Mm-hmm. It was tough. It was really tough. So I commend you, man. It's a lot of hard work.
It really is.
So you really start to focus on boxing at 17, 18 years old. Mm-hmm. Where did you graduate from high school?
Yeah. So originally I graduated at high school at 17. I was pretty young, and my family, they were moving to Florida. And I remember being in the house upstairs, and my mom come to me. She was like, yo, like, we moving to Florida, so I'm gonna give you a couple options. You can either come to Florida with us, start your life out there, or you can go to college. And I was just like, yeah, Mom, I'm gonna go to college. Like, I'm saying it because, like, but I really, like, it's not really what I wanted to do, but, like, I just wanted to, to get it off. And I didn't realize, like, how expensive and everything, like, that it was gonna come down to. But my mom, like, she bought it, she was with it. And so I said, yeah, Mom, I'm gonna go to college. And so I tried to go to college for a little bit right after that.
Yeah, keep mom off your back.
Yeah.
And, so you moved down. Now, were you getting in trouble at all in Columbus? Were you pretty straight-laced?
Yeah, I feel like I was a decent kid. Like, I didn't really cause too much problems. I feel like, no.
So you moved down to Florida. I'm assuming you don't go to college.
Well, I went for 6 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, 6 weeks is what I did. It was like 5 and like 4 days.
What was it? Was it just the structure of school, knowing how much you're spending on it?
It was a lot. That's where I got shot at, and that's where my life really fell apart to fall together, really. So, yeah.
So you just said shot at. Yeah. Walk us through the day you got shot.
Man. So I had a high school girlfriend too. That's why I really didn't want to go to Florida, because I'm like, man, you know, I'm young, I'm in love, I'm thinking, you know, like this is where I want to be. Is, you know, so I went to a school. It was like an hour or so from my house, so I could still feel, you know, represented. And we went to the school. We was hanging out all the time together, and my homeboys, we was all going to the club, like up the street over there. And
this is in Florida.
This is Ohio.
Oh, okay. Ohio. So you haven't left for Florida yet?
No, I hadn't left. My family left. My family had been took off. I'm still in Ohio. And so I go to the club. I'm getting ready to go. And she wasn't even gonna go. And last minute, she's like, man, like, I wanna go with you, I'm gonna go. So I tell my partners that I'm like, just if y'all can just stay in the car, like, hold on, she gonna get dressed, she gonna come. And we the bros, so like we was just trying to all be together. And she came, and you gotta think we're all young. Like I had just turned 18 at this time, so everybody is all together. We go to the club, and the moment I come in, like, it was just so crazy. See, again, this is my first time like experiencing like club experiences. The security guard, like I know clubs have securities, but this security guard, he had guns everywhere. He had pistol right here, like the long shotgun with the strap.
An AR?
Yeah,
at the club?
That's what I'm saying. So I go up to him. I was like, dang, it's like that? He's like, you must not know it get like that over here. I was like, no, I'm not from around here. And he was like, oh yeah, well, it's like that. And you know, he let me go. And so then we go to the club. I'm having a good time. And whole time I'm in this club, I'm just hearing like, oh, like, have a drink of water, like, have a drink of water. And I'm with one of my close friends, like, he from the city I'm from. I finally get a drink, but I think about him. I'm like, man, here, you take it. Like, you know, he hot. And, you know, I'm young in the club. We jumping, sweating. Like, you know, it's a big environment. Then, you know, some hours pass. I'm ready to go. I'm like, man, let it go. So everybody come outside. And mind you, this is Ohio, so it's cold. We go outside, and like where the club was, it was in an alley, like, and it was like just in the cut. We come outside, and when we come outside, everybody stopped like in a puddle, like school together. And they asked the girl I was with at the time, it was like, yo, who's your friend? Because her friend ended up coming. I was like, why would y'all ask that now? I'm like, we was just in a club for such an hour. I'm like, let go, like that, because I'm kind of frustrated. It's cold. I'm like, come on, like, let's go. And they want to hold this conversation. It's like, yeah, let's talk. And like everybody chiming in, like, yeah, what's up with her? And in the midst of that, they're like, you could just go to the car. I'm like, nah, like, I need us all to go, like, so we can all leave. Like, I don't want to wait. And I'm just antsy. And when that happened, I just remember hearing her scream, and she was like, chill out, I got a boyfriend, da da da. And I turn around, and before I could turn around, I feel like somebody on the back of me. Like, I feel them breathing on my neck. Like, I felt like a breathe. I thought it was my friend. I was gonna turn around and push him, like, yo, bro, like, watch out. And I realized it wasn't my friend. Like, I don't know this guy at all. But he was like way undersized than me. And I'm just like, whatever. I just move out. Like, I take a step to the side. I was like, you know, you go ahead, you go, get to where you gotta go. He was so close, like he was almost gonna step on the back of my shoe. And then I'm also, at that time, I'm like alert to what's going on. And I guess like he got off of her, and like I'm angry. Like, I just remember, like, I'm like, my patience had ran out at the time. And so when all that happened, like they go to their psychiatrist, like, yeah, Mason, just get in the car, And I remember being so angry. I'm like, man, don't nobody tell me to get in the car. Like, I've been trying, like, this could have been avoided if we would have left when we left. And I kind of skipped over, but when I was in the club, like, I was trying to leave maybe like 20, 30 minutes prior to that. I was trying to keep grabbing everybody, like, come on, like, let's leave. And, you know, I'm with a group of people. So, like, you know, we all together and, like, you know, I'm trying to make sure everybody comes together. And so when they tell me to get in the car, I was like, I know you're not telling me to get in the car. Like, I've been asked us to go ahead, let's leave, let's get in the car. Nobody did that. And
so they're telling you to get in the car at this point. You're like, F it. I told you guys a while ago I wanted to leave. You're frustrated. So go ahead. Sorry. What happens next?
So then they like get to the side of the car and she said something to me like about getting in the car. And I just remember I was like, shut up. Like, I was so fresh. I was like, shut up. And he rolled his window down and he was like, ooh, you gonna let him talk to you like that? Like, and then so I like, you know, me still being immature, I was really fresh. I'm like,
emotions, bro.
Yeah, my emotions. Definitely that. And I was like, oh, like, he really like, you know, he making me look bad now.
Yeah, of course.
And I remember how my key wrapped up. I'm like, oh, I'm thinking like, you know, it was time to fight. And I was like, I can't remember exactly what I said something to him, but I remember mouthing off to him. And like, he would like look away like, oh, like he heard that. And I was like, oh yeah, he's scared. And mind you, I had my friend that I told you I gave the water. I looked at him because I knew like he was really my friend, like with me. And so I look over at him like, man, you see what's going on? Like, you know, like we might got to fight. And by the time I turned back, remember I mentioned there was a dude who was walking so close up on me. That was a dude that shot me all the time. Like I turned back and it looked like a flashlight. Somebody was just like sparking like a flashlight on and off. And it's like, bah, 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 bah. And it was like by the fifth one, I finally ducked down. And I'm thinking like, dang, maybe they shooting blanks. Cause I'm like, I don't feel nothing. And remember I told you it's cold. And I feel like on my stomach. I'm like, dang. I'm like, I grabbed and it's like starting to be a puddle on my hand. It felt like I was like covered in sweat. Like if like, you know, I ran or like somebody just threw water at you. Like it felt like that. So it was just like, it was like puddles everywhere. And I duck. And while I'm ducking, I'm still hearing, bah, 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 bah. And I'm thinking like, dang, he's finna come from around a car. And I don't know what to do. So in that moment, I just took off running. Like it was a back gate. I took off running to that gate, like, doom, I said, as fast as I could. And he still, bah, 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 just blinking. Like, and so I'm taking off. Then I finally get all the way to the gate. And I hit the final, I look back and it's just nothing but smoke in the air, like just smoke everywhere. And I finally see him get in the car and skirt off. So then I run back to the car, like, phew, run back. And when I get there, like, I'm out of energy completely. I open the back door and I just fell in. Like, it's like you're going to plop on the couch. Like, I fell in to the car. And I remember laying my head on my girlfriend's lap at the time. I just lay down and I had another friend. He got in the driver's seat. And I had another friend, like he tried to get in the passenger, but it was glass like all over there, so he couldn't. And I just remember he was just covering his face like this. And then when I fall on the seat, I'm like, take me to the hospital. That's all I said. I'm like, take me to the hospital. And he turned the car on and get to driving. And the whole time he driving, I'm thinking like, damn, this might be it. And I just remember like growing up, like my dad used to always tell me, he's like, man, your mouth gonna get you in trouble. Like your mouth get me in trouble. And I'm just sitting there thinking like, dang, like this was the one. And so I'm just take a quick sip.
So you were shot 5 times?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay,
5.
so he shot a total of probably like 12 times.
Yeah, he had to let the whole clip, like, because it was so many shots. Like, he had to just shoot the whole clip.
So it was
And
17, I think, it was 16 in the clip, 1 in the hole.
And
so,
this is before, like, switches was, like, a cool thing. So, like, he didn't have a switch. It wasn't like it just went. Pop,
it was semi-automatic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa. So you got shot 5 times. You ran. That's insane.
Yeah,
you got shot
ran
5
back.
times, came back, you get in the car, lay down. They're now driving you to the hospital. Are you feeling any of this at that point? Are you passing out?
So that's also why she finally got in the car. When nobody like was listening, what made her finally go to the car, she's like, "Oh, my phone died." So she wanted to use the car charger. And when you put the Apple charger in and you know the Apple screen come and it's white, it was purple. And I was like, "Oh, damn, I'm messed up." When I seen like it was purple to me. That, and then like I tried to like lift my head up, and you know when you put like a straw in water and like it'll go to the side, like it does that. That's how everything was looking. The trees was like slanted, everything was to the side. I was like, oh man. And he's driving, and I just remember he was like, "You a real, you a real, you a real." And like I messed with all my strength. I was like, if I'm gonna die, I was like, I'm a real man. I'm a real man. I was like, man, like, I don't want them to say, like, I'm a real I don't want that on my tombstone or nothing. I'm like, I'm a real man. Like, remember that. And he was like, that's that. You remember, he just nodded. And then the girl I was with at the time, she was like, you want me to call your mom? I know, I was like, call my mom. Because, like, you know, I thought it was going to be over. So I was like, call my mom. And she didn't answer. And so then I was like, call my dad. I'm like, his name Pops. In my phone, I'm like, call him. He didn't answer. Mind you, it's like 3 a.m. Friday the 13th, too. Like, I don't know if anybody's superstitious, but Friday the 13th.
What year was this?
2017.
2017. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
And so I'm like, call my dad. His name Pops. He didn't answer. So that time, I'm like, it's over, man. And she was like, you want me to call your brother? And me and my brother was really, really close. Like, you know, that was really somebody I admired a lot. And I was like, that's a good idea. I was like, man.
With 5 shots in you.
Yeah, like, I accepted my fate. I was like, you know, it's going to be over. And she was like, you want to call him? Like, she suggested, I'm like, you know what? Hell yeah. I'm like, call him. And he pick up. He like, hello? And he just coming out of church at the time. Like, it's ironic. It's like
at 3 a.m.?
Right?
Your brother was coming out of church?
Yeah, my brother ended up becoming a pastor and, great relationship with Jesus Christ. And he answered and he hear screaming. And he think like we arguing or something. And from what he told me, he's like, I'm thinking y'all arguing. It's 3. And all I hear is, man, he got shot. He was like, man, put the phone to his ear. He's like, let me talk to him. And he talked to me like, why are you driving? My homeboy driving so fast. Like, I never seen somebody drive so fast. I look up. I'm scared to look up because like everything don't look right. Everything is like going to the side. Like it's like
you're losing
like,
consciousness a little
bit.
bit.
Yeah, it looked like I feel like I'm off drugs. I'm like, dang. So like I don't want to look up, but he driving so fast, and we get on the turnbuckle outer belt on the freeway. And I'm thinking, like, we all gonna die. Like, we're not gonna make it because, like, he's not going slow enough. And he's flying. I'm like, he got to slow down and hit this turn. I look up and I just close my eyes. I'm like, man, he's not gonna make it. And he made it. Close my eyes. And the next time I open my eyes, we had a hospital. And I just remember being off the phone. My homeboy come to grab me. He's like, you gotta get up. I'm like, bro, I can't feel my legs. And he's like, we here though. He's like, come on, you gotta use all your strength. And I felt something to come upon me to get strong. And when I put my arm around him, I had another homeboy put my arm around them. It dragged me. And it's only like a few feet away, but it felt like miles to get to that hospital.
Yeah. Where are you shot at?
So at this time, I only thought I was shot one time, you know, because it reminds you, like, back then, I mean, I still kind of feel invincible. I really thought I was invincible then. So I really thought I only got shot in my arm, which is stupid because I know I felt on my stomach, but I really thought I only You know, I thought I only got shot like once, but I got shot 2 times in my arm, 3 times, two on my side and my like side of my ribs and once on my back. So, and but he carried me to the hospital to over there. Like we dragging, like I'm making it. And then we get there and I just remember it was an old lady like sitting at the door. She was like, I'm sorry, we're closed. Like,
no
come
way.
back another day.
What?
Yeah. And my homeboy, he grabbed me. He was like, he's shot. And she was like,
yeah, bring him right in.
Yeah. And she was like, she pointed like there was like suicide door. She pointed, she was like, take him over there. And I was like, bro, I can't keep walking. And my homeboy was saying, like, I remember that's when he fainted. He was like, it looked like you was finna fall forward because you leaned forward. And out of nowhere, boom, you went backwards. And that's where I remember smacking my head, like, boom, like really hard.
So they bring you in, you go right into surgery.
Hell no. They bring me in. Like it was so much. Like they bring me in. I finally get to, they finally open the suicide doors and they lay down. Like I'm laying on the carpet, like laying right there on the floor. And then it's one nurse come, another nurse, 3, 4, 5. They're like, we need more. They keep coming, calling more. I'm like, damn, it's that serious? Like they get like, it's like, and then it just remember seeing like a bright light above my face. And, you know, so as nurses just coming, like left and right. And then I feel the gurney like finally lift up, like, boom, it cut my clothes off. And at that time, that's when I started realizing how much I was shot. Cause I think I only got shot one time. I'm thinking I'm gonna live normal life tomorrow. Like I really thought I was okay.
In and out.
Exactly. But they cut my clothes off. It was like gunshot wound here. All right, cool. I get by. Gunshot wound here. Gunshot wound here. Oh, we got another wound right here. One right here. I keep hearing. I'm like, are they gonna stop? I'm like, damn. I'm like, they just keep saying like gunshot wound. And then you gotta think like it was five shots, but with 9 holes. So they count the holes really like they're like boom, here. And so that's what's like making me, I'm like, dang. I'm like really like, I'm like, what in the world?
One stayed in you?
In my back at the time.
Yeah. So 9 holes, right? Shot 5 times.
Yeah. So all that was happening. I'm just like, wow. And so like it got starting to like make me like paranoid. So then I remember the main nurse, like I grabbed her like with all my strength. Like, I was like, am I gonna live? Like I remember asking her like, yo, am I gonna live? She ain't like say nothing. I would grab her down like, am I gonna live? Like tell me now, like, you know. And she was like, she looked me in my eyes, she was like, yes, you gonna live. And I don't lie to people. And I was like, that just gave me a relief. I was like, all right, cool. And then I thought, remember I told you, I mentioned the water. I'm thirsty like that now, but that going at the club, I was so thirsty. And I remember asking her, I was like, can I just have a sip of water? Like, I'm so thirsty. She was like, nah, you about to go to sleep in a minute. And once she said that, I was out. Like,
they put
boom,
you out.
I was gone. Like, I remember that was the last thing I heard. She was like, no, you about to go to sleep in a minute. And like, so like when I was thinking at the club and I was like, I needed that water. Like, it was that, like, all losing all that blood, it made me so thirsty.
Yeah.
Like, and that was just like the first part. Like, I feel like people like, you know, people here getting shot, which is, you know, that's traumatic. But like, to me, was so hard and so difficult was the recovery. That part was like a whole nother just sequence that was just so much harder. Cause you got to think like getting shot. Like, I know I explained this story in about 10 minutes, you know, but that's only like
20. No, I'm just kidding.
That's like a hour or 2 of my life, you know. The recovery is months, like, you know, that's a long time of your life. So that's what I'm saying. That was like so hard for me.
So you were shot 5 times. You go into surgery. I'm assuming they took that 5th bullet out. You were shot with Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
Because they went in and out. If you were shot with hollow tips, I don't think you would have been here today.
Yeah. Somebody told me like they like blow up. Like
hollow tips explode in you. So if you got shot 5 times with hollow tips, it tears your whole insides up. Yeah. So like those 3 that went, the 2 that went in your side and the 1 that went in your back, you've been toast, man. Yeah. So I mean, that's a blessing. What did the recovery look like? You get out of the hospital after surgery.
Nah, like that. It was so crazy. Like, so I in the hospital. It wasn't even like I just got out. So I remember in there. I'm asleep, my eyes closed. I finally opened my eyes. And first time I saw my dad, I remember like, he just smiled like that, like real gentle. And I was like, oh damn. Like he smiled. I'm like, and I'm thinking like, hey, he came from Florida? Like, and like, like that was the first one I saw, like he's sitting in a chair. And then my big sister come, she runs, she's like, what happened? Like, you did this. And I got cousins that are real close to me. They're like my siblings as well. My cousins was like very, very close to me. I love them just like my brothers and sisters. And my cousin was like, she said my sister's name. She's like, Shalon, don't ask him that. Like, back up. And it's like, leave him alone. And so then I'm gaining consciousness, and it's a fat ass tube in my mouth. Like, it's like, it looked like a slinky. It was like that, like
down your throat,
in my mouth. I'm like, I'm trying to pull it out. Like, what in the world? Like, I'm gaining. This is my first time I've been out, and the nurse doctor lady come in. She's like, no, you can't do that. Like, you just gotta stay in. Like, and I got tubes everywhere, and she's so that was that. Then eventually they take it out. I'm like, okay. I'm thinking, mind you, like I'm still really like, I'm not understanding like how serious this is. So they take it out. I'm thinking like I can talk and just be like, yo, like such and such happened. Like, they come pick me up. Like, let's go do this. I'm thinking I'm be able to talk. And the first words, I'm like, dang. I'm like, I can't speak.
No voice.
Nothing. Like, it's gone. And they that's why I like seen my stomach. My stomach was like just cut all the way down, like a fat scar. And
you have a scar all the way down?
Yeah. Fat scar.
Are you allowed to show it? Or
yeah,
is that cool?
I mean, now it's healed, It was like fat scar all the way down. I feel like I'm blessed with my scar. People got worse, and it's just like, it's like pudgy right here. Because when they tried to push, like they left too much pudge. But I mean,
yeah.
My brother used to always tell me scars create character. So I was like, I just rock with it, like,
Yeah.
But then the actual doctor who did the surgery come in, he felt my toes, like, because they didn't know if I was going to be able to walk, like, and be normal, because that's why I got shot in the back. Like, he touched on my toes. And, like, he grabbing them. I can feel it, though. Like, I can't speak. I can't be like, yo, stop that. Like, I really can't talk. I genuinely can't. And I just remember hearing my mom on the phone yelling, like, they got her on speaker. I'm hearing all this. I'm like, back to reality. Like, I don't want to hear all that.
I don't want to hear mom.
Yeah. And then they come and they bring me a piece of paper to write. I just remember writing like simple stuff like, my friends came from my city, and they didn't know if I was going to live. So they had me in ICU. They like only like immediate family. And I told you, my cousins is really like my siblings. So they was allowed in there.
Yeah.
My cousins and my actual siblings was only people, my friends and them that came, like they had to stay. They was writing me, and I would write them like simple stuff. But I just remember everything made me so exhausted. Like I could like I just remember I wrote, I love y'all. And it tired me out so much. Like I was so weak. Like it was insane. And so then like I'm finally like, all that goes through just from that point. So now it's probably like day 3, day 4. And I just remember being in the hospital. I was so scared. Like I never like, I told you like, I'm a boxer now, and like I always felt invincible. I know I'm not invincible, but I always felt like, superhuman. Like, man, I'm like, I could do that. Like, okay, bet like I can make that happen. And like, I don't feel like fear is a real thing. I get scared, but my brother always tell me like, you gotta face your fear. So I was always like, I wanted like something to scare me so I can face it, so I can like stand in this eye and be like, yeah, like, you know, I wanted to face my fear. But there, I just remember being like feeling like a little boy, and like that little boy in me, I just remember I wanted my mom so bad. Like I really was like, you know, I was just like, man, I really want my mom. Like I just remember like really thinking like, man, mom, like I really, really want you. And like, you know, like I'm a little like, you know, I was always like very tough. So like I was never like, you know, a mama's boy, like, you know, like, or I had to hug up on my mom or like
But it's
be like
okay to
that.
have a great relationship and miss your
Yeah,
mom and love your mom. Like that's
exactly.
amazing, dude, that you have
But
that.
I just never was like, Ma, like I love you. Like she know I love her like wholeheartedly. I know my mom loved me, but I never just been like, you know, mommy, like, you know. But at that time I was really like, like I really like, you know, I really wanted my mom. It was like when a kid like need a stuffed animal. That's how I really felt. And I remember one of the nurses came in and she was just like, they used to try and have me get up. I'd never been so tired in my life. And they was like, you gotta get up, you gotta do something. And I just remember I was like, can I just give you a hug? Like, can I hold you?
No.
And like, she just let me hold her. And like, it was symbolic because it like, you know, it felt like I was holding my mom. Like, you know, I just really wanted, I just felt like I was in her womb and I was able to hold her for that little bit. And like that, like she don't really even know, like that did so much for me. Like I felt like it broke a lot of stuff. And I was so scared when I was in ICU because I always felt like superhuman, but I felt like, man, I didn't have my powers. I couldn't fight. I couldn't do nothing. Like, you know, they gonna finish the job. And my dad stayed in the hospital a lot, but he lived in Florida. Like he couldn't just stay here forever. My brother, he lived in Alabama at the time. You know, he would come up, stay with me. Then, you know, my cousins that lived in Ohio, they was staying with me. Like I just didn't want to be in the hospital by myself. I was so paranoid. And then when I'm in ICU, people dying every day, like left and right. Like I'm literally hearing screams like, like just screams. Like it sounds like I'm in a psych ward. Like I'm just hearing screams and people dying. Like, you know, they closing the curtains like, like off the side. I'm just like, damn, like they didn't make it. And, you know, and everything scared me. Like I didn't want to like everything tired me out and scared me. So like if I watched TV, it would freak me out. Like I couldn't watch like a lot of stuff. And ironically, my sister, my cousin, call her my sister, she came up and she brought the fire stick. I watched Ghostbusters, and like you would think that's like scary at that time because it ghosts, but like that was the only thing I could like take, I could handle because I was freaking out. And
dude, it's PTSD too. You just got fucking shot 5 times.
And then people dying next to
around
me,
you,
like,
all over the
left
place.
and right. And they come in, I remember my brother come in, like they like being normal because they think I like, you know, it's normal. They don't understand necessarily. And they was like, yeah, this guy next to me, like he was screaming, like they was like, yeah, he fell 50 feet. And, like he lived, like he fell, boom. That's why he's here. He fell. Over here, like, damn. Like, I'm traumatized. I'm like, shit. Like, you know? And he like, and the thing is, like, when you dare, like, the reason why people have so much pain and screaming is because everybody wants drugs to make that pain go away. They gave me morphine. I could click it like every 5-10 minutes and it would like, I could see it from the IV and it would shoot in me. Click, like, boom. And like, that also made me very tired. It just, I would knock out. And like, sleeping was great because like, it was like I didn't exist. It was like, it was cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, you know, I didn't exist. But then it would hurt because like, in my dreams, I'm normal. I'm running, I'm laughing. And I wake up and I'm paralyzed. Like I'm like, oh, like I can't do anything. And like I need real help to get up. Like real, like my grandma was very sick growing up. And you know, she was really close to me, but like we had to help her do everything. It reminded me like I was worse than my grandma. Like I had to really help her get up. Like, come on, grandma, like let's go to the bathroom. Like I had to help, like I needed real help to do everything. And so like that dreams would mess me up because I'm normal. And then boom, I wake up.
In life, you're not.
I'm like, oh, and it was like a shock. Then after all that, we're in the hospital. My dad come, and my dad, he's just such a good man. Like, you know, I always have so much respect for him. And I'm in the hospital, and I was at Sigma Hospital. I always want to, you know, shout them out because Sigma. I can't even say it right, but
yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, they treated me really good, probably too good, because like, you know, they was bringing me warm blankets and just doing everything. And I'm in there, and mind you, I'm getting real skinny because everything is from an IV. I can't eat, drink, nothing, like nothing at all. And my sister is in there one time, and everybody had left the room. Everybody left. It was just me and my sister. And I was like, Shalon, I was like, I'm so thirsty. Like, let me just have some of the iced tea. And I was like, nobody's here. Let me just have it. And she was like, okay. And she gave it to me. I'm thinking like, I'm going to be normal. It hurt so bad. It was like sipping down the wrong pipe. And then I got cut open. So like, I couldn't sneeze. I couldn't do anything on my stomach. And I had the biggest, and I was like, oh, that's why I can't drink, eat, nothing. And I would get so thirsty. And there's a story in the Bible where like Lazarus and the rich man, and he was like, can you just, I'm so hot in here. He was in hell. He was like, can you just drip some water on my lips? And that's what they would have to do for me. They had a Q-tip and they would just drip it on my lip, like, you know.
Yeah.
So that way, because I'm getting IV, getting water, but it's different. Like, I'm not getting no real fluid.
Liquids.
And so they would just drip it. And when everybody left, I was like, so I can't do this. I'm like, give me the iced tea. I started drinking. And I was like, oh, that's what, I'm never going through that pain again. That pain was so unbearable. I was like, oh, damn.
So you are now a professional, undefeated boxer. You had a standout amateur career. When did you go professional? Last year?
Yeah, last year.
Well, congratulations. What are tools that you have implemented? You went through a very tough time in 2017. You bounced back from getting shot 5 times. And also too, dude, to be in an ICU unit and watch people die all around you, at the age of 17, 18 years old, that's traumatic. What tools have you implemented, and what got you to becoming an undefeated professional boxer? Sorry.
It really, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I know, like, man, God let me live. I know I got to do something, and I want to get my story out there. And I always felt like superhuman, like, you know, and I already had boxing in my background. My brother did it, and I went to go stay with my brother for a little bit, and he was like, man, why don't you try boxing again? And I was so skinny, frail.
How long after the accident did you get back into boxing?
Probably like 6-7 months.
All right, so you were sidelined for like 6-7 months, and then you bounced back in.
Yeah, but I was skinny. I was like,
I
was
of course.
Not the same, man. Like, I didn't really have experience like that. I was green, and he was like, nah, like, try it. And he would work with me every day. He got a bag he put outside, and I just kept training. And then through all that, like, that experience, one, that was really humbling. Like, it humbled me and showed me that, one, I'm not invincible. I'm human like everybody else. Like, you know, there's going to be a day for me just like everybody else. But I also, with it gave me discipline. It made me just like I was determined to make it through that. Like,
don't waste this time either.
Yeah, they thought I wasn't going to walk again. They didn't know, like, you know, if I was going to eat. Like, it was so much situations I was going through.
Gratitude.
All of that. Yeah, and that really gave me, like, discipline, because I was like, I'm going to show you, like, I'm going to make it. And so, like, that carried that into boxing. And, you know, a lot of people, like, have their dad or, like, somebody there to, like, look out for them. You know, not that my dad isn't in my life, but, like, he's not in my boxing life, you know? And so I just, you know, I feel like, you know, I went all the way to be the best boxer I could be, showing up, being the first one there, the last one there, putting in work overtime, and never quitting. That was the biggest thing. No matter how hard it got, no matter what, like, I was going to do it. Like, no matter it was, oh, he's him, he's that. I was like, well, I'm this, I'm that too. I was determined no matter what, just to never quit. I was going, no matter what it looked like, I was going to make it to tomorrow.
So you were a boxer before you got shot, and getting shot is a traumatizing event in someone's life. I feel like a lot of people go through traumatizing events and then just kind of throw in the towel after that. You hear a lot of those stories. Your story is very rare, whereas you just named a bunch of things that you took away, you know, recommitted to life. your gratitude for life, for still staying alive. The most important thing that I think you said was God. What is your relationship with God today?
I'm a strong believer, actually. I believe in Jesus Christ. I don't know which camera's on me, but I believe
This one right here, dude.
Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. And I want to take this moment to tell everybody, you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior too. Commit to him. He'll be with you the same way, forgive you of all sin, confess all your sins, and he'll be with you. Accept him as your Lord and Savior as well. But I accept him as my Lord and Savior, and that's somebody I will always humble down to and bow my head down to. And he is my superpower, that is what allowed me to really be invincible and make it through.
What have you done about, now I feel like boxing, when you're boxing a 12-round fight, there are a lot of emotions that come and go. If you have a bad first round, a bad second round, you could still come back and win the next 10 rounds. Emotions are all over the place in a boxing fight. You need to be able to regulate your emotions to be a boxer, a good boxer. You're an undefeated boxer, professional boxer. You talked about your emotion with that dude when he embarrassed you in front of the girl. What have you done to regulate? Clearly your emotions are in a great place. And since you've been here, since I've been talking to you, you've been so even keeled.
Mm-hmm.
What have you done to really regulate those emotions and keep those emotions steady so that you're not flying off the handle or maybe acting impulsively?
Biggest thing is, like I said, that humbled me, made me realize I'm human. Like, no matter how great of a boxer I am, I can never beat nobody's bullets. And then there is people that can't have bullets. I could beat them, but why not encourage them, help them get there? Like, it just forever kept me neutral. Like, just kept me really grounded, even in the fight. It's just like, if I feel like I'm losing, like, let me figure out like how I can have bullets in myself and make something feel like I'm a weapon and neutralize them. So it just forever kept me grounded and wanted to pick people up because I was at my lowest and I needed to be picked up. So it just it made me want to pick everybody else up like in the best way that I could. And anybody that was like pushing down on me, that situation, it made me want to prove them wrong. Like, okay, I got one for you. I'm gonna show you. So like, again, just kept all my emotions just neutral. It was just a humbling situation. It just keep me through life. Just being humble. Just wanted to be neutral and just be a humble guy. Like really, I think that's a good character and what I want to carry, and just have humility and share that to everybody else. I think
it's an easier way to live.
Humble is the way.
It's an easier way to live
for sure.
You what happened after the shooting? Did detectives come to your room and ask you what happened with the shooting?
Briefly, I never really believed in going to the courtrooms and going through all that, but it was just such a weird situation. They thought my number was my girlfriend mom number, so they was always calling her, telling her everything. Then she'd be like, yeah, the detective said this, said that. They're telling me back. And then the detective finally came to my room and was like, yeah, so he just got out of prison. He's such and such.
The dude got out of prison, so they caught him. Yo, you can hear that on the mic, by the way. Yeah, no, you're good.
They caught him, but he didn't it wasn't like I had to go and point him out, do a lineup and do all that.
Well, there were so many people around. Yeah. They knew exactly. They didn't need you to do that. So there were so many witnesses.
I never did any of that. I never went to a lineup.
Did he go to prison?
As far as I know, no. I don't know where he's at, what he's doing today. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Well, dude, thank you so much, Mason. Yeah. I really appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you taking the drive here. Your story is amazing. And, when you get knocked down, figuratively and literally, get back up, and you're living a life today beyond your wildest dreams. Do you want to shout out any of your socials?
I really do. Even before I shout out my socials, I just want everybody to know, one, for me to even be here, it was a team effort. I started off telling about my parents. My parents was a very humble people, from my mom taking care of my grandmother, my dad working his jobs, taking care of. So my parents, my coach, Monette Flowers, team effort. Like, you know, as much as I train, I never trained by myself. He was in the gym with me, helping me be there. And my coaches from beforehand, from Coach Gary, and then of course my siblings, my cousins, you know, them. And then again on socials, you can find me at 100_Mason_100. So it's 100_Mason_100. And that's on Instagram. I do have a fight coming up this June, so you can stay tuned for that. June, I have a date and an opponent lined up. So it'll be good. Good. Check me out then.
You're gonna win, right?
Of course, you know.
What's your dude? You're a knockout artist?
I'm everything. I mean, you can expect, you know, you want to see a knockout, but I'm everything. Like, you know, shoot.
So we have a bare knuckle fighter in here. Who wins in a fight? Bare knuckle fighter or boxer? You two guys.
Well, I fight MMA, pro MMA.
Yeah.
Boxing.
Yeah.
Well, so I'll beat his little ass.
In no way possible, you know.
No, you know what though? Listen, you guys have some bond. Like I could see it already, and I love it, bro. It's like a brotherhood, you know,
It's
and it's
actually
love.
a good bond.
It's pure love.
I was fighting. I was sparring. And he came up to me and he was like, man, like you cold for real. Like you actually nice.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I appreciate it. You know, I get compliments all the time.
Yeah.
And then he kept talking to me. And I'm like, man, why he so nice, man?
He likes you, bro. He was trying to get your number, bro. He said,
I'm like, man, is he hitting on me, man? I'm like, what's up?
Yeah.
And shoot, then we just end up connecting and shoot, I found out, you know, boxing community. I feel like everybody box, but shoot, I don't think anybody as nice as me. So I, you know, I push it. I'm like, man, he cool.
I think it was the scar.
You're boxing without a shirt on, bro. You got a scar and bullet holes, and
maybe that.
I couldn't tell. I thought he had surgery for something.
Yeah.
Yeah, then he got me some work. You know, he's just looking out. I was like,
But
man,
that's amazing. You guys have community.
Mm-hmm.
Community will get you through, and doing something by yourself, whether it's the fight you're training for, whether it's the fight he's training for in 6 weeks. It doesn't matter. You guys have this brotherhood and like that community, you're not alone. I mean, I personally wouldn't want to fuck with any of you two because catching you two on the street, like you guys are like fully trained. It's crazy. Lethal combo. But Mason, thank you so much, dude. I appreciate you coming
I really
on.
appreciate you for having me out here. You
sure.
know? And so it's a blessing. I thank you very much. And again, shout out to those people and Jesus Christ, number one. I can't forget him. I want to start with him and end with him.